Welcome everyone to V8 Online's live coverage of the Australian-New Zealand Grand Am Series, proudly presented by Track Racer, Thrustmaster and the V8 Online Superstore. Jay Kennedy here for the first time in the Grand Am Series to be your host, and regular commentator Matthew Hill joining me tonight. G'day Hilly.
G'day Jay, hope you're enjoying the comfy chair, mate, of the host seat. It's quite a nice little chair.
Yeah, I've worked this groove quite well over the years, so I rather enjoy this seat. But the racing the last couple of weeks in this series has been fantastic, and it's just meant that I've had to come in and have a look and have a yell at this myself. It's been fantastic, this series.
No, absolutely, mate. It's been an epic 3 races so far through this series. There's been some really close battles all throughout the field in both classes. It's been absolutely a pleasure to commentate and to be a part of.
Before we get into the race, we'll quickly run through the standings as they are currently after 3 rounds. Matthew Barron leads the Riley DP class from Mitch Abril, Chris Osborne, Mitch McLeod, Baden Reed, Steve Vanos, John Emerson, Anthony Kernich, Alex Lamb and Jason Brimicombe.
That's right, and in the McLarens we've got Craig Hunter leading the charge, Christian Alwood in 2nd place, Andrew Wren, the consistent performer, in 3rd place, Corey Osborne in 4th, Wayne Burke in 5th, Martin Turner in 6th. In 7th we have David Hingston, in 8th David Oliver, and in 9th David Arnold, and rounding out the top 10 is Leo Gray. Been some very close points there throughout both championships, so hopefully it continues that way.
Yeah, it just shows how far we've come from a few months ago when there was 11 or 12 cars out on track to now we've actually seen guys racing in this series battling for the overall championship, which is absolutely brilliant to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just shows the strength and the calibre of drivers that we have in our little club, in our little Australia-New Zealand club.
So we've got the qualifying positions on screen at the moment. George Sandman will start this race from pole, of course, from America. He's got up nice and early to compete in this series because, as we said, they're competing for the overall championship here. Chris Osborne in 2nd position, Anthony Kernich in 3rd, Mitch Abril 4th, Alex Lamb in 5th, Paul Gallen 6th, Steve Vanos in 7th, Bernard Mangelsdorf in 8th and Tim Fitz in 9th.
And in the McLarens, we've got Saab Voyek Jr. in pole position, Fabio Gonzalez in 2nd. First time he's running in the McLaren. I've always seen him in his regular colours in the Daytona as well. We've got Blake Hoppo in 3rd, Christian Alwood in 4th, Corey Osborne, David Hingston, Tony Woodridge, Martin Turner, Nathan B. Aramenko, it's good to see him back as well, Leighton Fine, Dave Oliver, Andrew Wren, Dorino Raschuti, I think that's how you pronounce that, I do apologise because I will murder that name, David Arnold, Patrick Brodzicki, it's Gutsipi Tanzi, Stephen Griffith, Audio Kimmer and Josh Flew, and also rounding out the 29 car field is Guy Burkhart. How are those for some names?
I'm glad I gave you the McLaren field, mate. That was good.
Yeah, the benefits of being the host, agent.
I've got to get some perks out of this. The 50-minute race here tonight. 50 minutes around this very, very tough track, Brands Hatch. The guys really one key passing opportunity, so it's going to be a lot of give and take between both these cars when we start to see passing happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, it's 4.206 kilometres, 9 turns are the best, lots of height changes, lots of bumpy corners, and with the track so narrow, we're going to need a lot of cooperation between the 2 different classes to be able to keep most of the cars clean and out of the fences.
Give a quick shout out to Christian Elwood out on track. He's worked so hard over the last couple of weeks to bring in these beautiful new graphics you see on screen. They look absolutely fantastic, so big thanks to Christian for all his hard work. He's been in here only half an hour ago helping us fix a couple of minor issues we were having, so he's put in a lot of work, so big thanks.
Yeah, Christian's done a fabulous job, and we've seen some of the cheats, if you will, on Facebook, on the V8 Online Facebook page of what they're going to look like, and I can tell you that they are absolutely sensational and spectacular. So well done, Christian, for all your help there, mate. It's been awesome. see the cars now are on their warm-up lap, all trying to find a nice little spot where they can warm their tyres up and keep the car nice and straight, get focused, get in the zone, because for me, this is probably the most nervous part before the actual green flag drops.
Yeah, I reckon I'd be more nervous, or I'm more nervous on a rolling start than I'm on a standing start. Standing start, you sort of have to jump in and off you go, whereas rolling start, you've got a bit more time to think, and I don't think I can handle that as much as standing start.
Oh, you're not alone there, Jay, that's for sure. I get more nervous on rolling starts than I do standing starts, because you just don't have time to think about it. Once that green light goes out, you're away. But in these rolling starts, you've got to sit there, do about 100 k's an hour, sit behind that Mustang, and you got plenty of time to think. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing.
I do apologise there are a couple of issues that we are having with the overlays, but we're having less issues with our new ones than we were with our old ones, so that's why we've jumped in and running with our new ones. We'll try and iron out some kinks as we go. So our apologies, especially to the guys that it actually says on screen that they're a privateer when they're clearly not, so apologies for that.
Alright guys, they're coming around the second to last bend now, and waiting for that pace car. They'll give the pace car a bit of a gap, and you'll also notice that the McLarens give the DPs a bit of a gap, that way the two classes can separate. Alright, they've given the pace car a bit of a gap now, waiting for that green flag to drop, all jostling for a little bit of positions, waiting now for that green flag.
Green flag.
And they're away. We've got George Sandman taking the lead into turn 1, with Osborne settling in for second, and we've got a mover. We've got Kernich up the inside, debut in split 1, move up to third position. So a good start for Kernich.
Nice and clean start in the McLaren field as well, all getting through turn 1 nice and safely. Turn 2 is where it really bottlenecks, so it's hard to run too wide through turn 2. Really start to feather out and into single line.
Yeah, that's one thing you'll notice about this track, is it's very much a single line raceway. There's a couple of places on the track into turn 2, heading into Hawthorns Bend, which is turn 5 where the DPs are heading into now. George Sandman taking quite a shallow line into that corner. It was interesting to see the difference between Osborne and Sandman with their two different driving styles. One thing to note, we were in there watching the qualifying sessions, and Christopher Osborne just absolutely just manhandles this DP around the track.
He's going to get a real workout if that's the way he's going to drive for 50 minutes. He'll end up looking like Popeye. His arms will be that sore. And
well, they're extremely close heading into complete lap 1.
Notice our biggest achievement on screen. You'll notice the time is actually correct with the time remaining.
Oh, I like that. That's a very good feature now that now we can get that right. That's sensational. No guessing, guys. No guessing, guys. It's all accurate timing.
Apologise. The actual gaps that it's showing between cars on screen is a little bit off at the moment, but we're working on that as well. But good to actually have the results separated for both classes and the actual time remaining in the race correct. Finally, we did it. We finally did it.
Just watching those leaders of the DPs, and they've all settled into a bit of a rhythm. I mean, they're only on lap 2. This is a 50-minute race, so there's a lot of racing ahead of us. And we have seen some very, very good battles with Sandman and other drivers of the DPs throughout the first 3 races. Osborne applying a lot of pressure to Sandman, very early stage. Christopher Osborne showing his hand very early.
He wants to get this move done as soon as he can.
Get some clear air, get some good downforce on the front of that DP, and hopefully he can get himself a bit of a gap. But I mean, first he's got to get around the wily old master, I suppose you'd call him, of DPs in George Sandman. George Sandman, of course, operates out of races out of California. So very, very early in the morning. It must be 3 o'clock in the morning over there. So Nice and early for Sandman.
We apologise as well, we're having a couple of issues with our Twitch servers as well, so sorry for that.
Just trying to iron out a few things here, guys. Alright, looks like we got that sorted, guys, so we're back to live pictures again.
Up near the front of the McLaren class, it's actually Blake Coppo and Saba. There's very, very tight battle there, and then third and fourth in that class as well.
Yeah,
When Christian and Fabio, they're very, very close too.
Yes, sorry Jay, but yeah, they're one thing we've seen in the McLarens is how close you can run these cars together without too much of a difference. But geez, it looks like we've got a few cars in the pits with some big damage, so we must have missed something while we're having a little bit of technical dramas. We've got Patrick Grodsky, David Arnold, and Daniel Raschuti in the pits. Looks like they've all got massive damage, so maybe all three of them involved in an incident, but unfortunately that looks like three cars that will be out of the race.
Grodsky's been in the pits for quite a while, so not sure what's happened there.
Yeah, it looks like Turner and Ricciuti has definitely looked like they've been involved in something.
And the lead in the McLaren field, Coppo has just taken the lead. Around the outside. Fantastic move around the outside.
That's showing a lot of bravery there. Now, it'll be interesting to see if we can see Blake Coppo make a bit of a gap on Saab. Blake Coppo has been absolutely ragging this McLaren all week, trying to get the handle on it, and looks like he's got a setup that's very, very quick over one lap, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes over the full 50 minutes. And of course, with the 50-minute race tonight, there will be no pit stops, so it's the GT sort of equivalent to a sprint race.
Barber as well, he actually was pole. These guys separated by only 2/100ths of a second. There's nothing between these two guys.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Blake Coppo was actually sitting in third place, so he's already gone up 2 places. Take the lead. It's great driving so far from Blake. We got Christopher Osborne in second place, still applying a lot of pressure to Sandman, so Sandman not being able to get himself into a decent rhythm and maybe put a little bit of a gap. Looks like Christopher Osborne is really close, hoping to put a move up the inside. Oh, Sandman using the middle of the track to his advantage, but it looks like Osborne could have a run up the inside into turn 2. Oh, plenty of room given from Sandman, so a great driving. News not over yet. Sandman will hold the line into turn 3.
Over and under. Oh, Osborne almost off into the grass, almost looped it then.
Now, how good is this for a view looking back from Sandman at Christopher Osborne, applying a lot of pressure. You can see that draft, how much Osborne gains on Sandman just through that short straight.
Because of that draft as well, Kernich and Abril left sticking with these guys. Top 4 separated by just over a second.
Yeah, I was having a chat to Kernich earlier this afternoon, and he was very confident with his race pace and genuinely excited that he had the speed that the leaders have. So hopefully he can keep calm, keep the pressure on, and who knows, he may be there to pick up the pieces or be able to take the lead of this race. So Anthony, genuinely excited to be up the front, and a top split debut for him as well.
Actually, just said just before the start of this race, good luck, guys, with the bright green car. On the broadcast, he wanted to make sure he stood out, so he chose fluoro green.
Yeah, well, we're not going to miss him, that's for sure.
As we said, sorry guys, we are still working through a few bugs with our overlay software. They just have crashed a little bit, so working feverishly in the background to try and fix that, but we'll stick with this battle in front of the DP class.
Yeah, that's right, guys. I mean, it is the debut of the new overlays, the graphics program. So, I mean, little bugs here and there. So hopefully we can get those ironed out and be ready to rock and roll again on Monday night for the V8s.
I'm hearing rumours, Hilly, that you're not excited about this week.
No, the old Lime Rock, she punishes my hands a little bit. I think I must have my force feed back up a bit high because I can feel every little bump on that track. Oh, looks like we've got Andrew Wren off into the gravel in the last turn, right in front of the leaders of the DPs.
It's happened just a little while ago. Managed to get her out of the way. It's actually Guy Burkhart.
Car's confused.
Very, very similar livery.
Yeah.
Almost identical livery. We'll get you off on that one, Hilly.
Yeah, that's right. Andrew Wren always running the green and the gold.
They are almost identical liveries. Right, you're allowed one of them a night. I decided after Monday night making boo-boos calling out drivers that weren't even in the race. So.
Well, I've already reached my quota very early. I'm glad to get that one over and done with nice and early. Only 10 minutes into the race and I've already used my one out.
Oh, I did it on lap 2, don't worry.
Mitch Abrahall applying a lot of pressure now to Anthony Kernich. Be interested to see if Anthony can withstand the pressure. I mean, Mitch Abrahall is a very seasoned competitor now in this DP, so he knows exactly what these cars are capable of. Looking for a draft out of this last corner. Kernich gets off the corner very well, gets a good drive, and Mitch unfortunately will have to sit through another lap.
Stick on board for the rest of this lap, guys, with Mitch Abrahall. Actually, keep an eye on gear is in, speed is doing. So enjoy this, guys.
There's a lap of the famous Brands Hatch circuit, the GP version, 4.2 kilometres. And we're actually on board there with Anthony Kernich. So Mitch Abrahall let off the hook there for that little hot lap. Anthony bearing the cameras of the prototypes. Just can't keep my hive off this battle for this DPs.
Yeah, it's so close. I know every week you guys have been saying how close this is, but this is just fantastic. I'm really enjoying watching this.
It's a great thing. I mean, these cars are very close. Looks like actually George Sandman's been able to maybe gap Osborne a little bit in this lap. Very interesting to see the lap time and the difference in this next lap, just to see if it's actually true or whether I've just been imagining things.
Yeah, he has pulled out a bit bigger of a gap this lap around. Car's going off the track ahead though.
Danzy
Not a thing
in the grass, and looks like we've got Abrahall making a move on Kernich. Ambrol takes 3rd place overall. Oh!
That was
Ambrol in the
close.
last corner gets his nose chopped off by Giuseppe. We go to a replay.
Yeah, Koenig just lost a bit of drive out of the right-hander and into the left. Abril up the inside.
Yeah,
Done.
Abril there with a pretty uniform little drive. Anthony Koenig's probably giving enough room to be compliant. I mean, Anthony knows that this is a long race. I mean, there still is, good, well, geez, nearly 35 minutes to go, yeah.
It looks like Alex Lam, like he's got internet issues, something we're fairly familiar with now in our broadcasts.
That's right, it's not an official V8 Online broadcast if we don't have someone blinking away like a disco.
I think Madison's got a new nickname, Blinky Bill. Teammates are calling him now, they're wanting to paint up a livery for him.
We look now at Blake Coppo and Saab battling for the lead in the McLarens. Really showing a good turn of speed, Blake, and he's withstanding a lot of pressure for Saab, and we have seen Saab on this broadcast before, and he is an absolute weapon in these McLarens, so Blake doing a great job to withstand the pressure.
Yeah, this gap's really closed up as well. It was out to just over a second not long ago, and it's closed back into 3 or 4 tenths again. Mentioning that Blake was really good 1-lap pace, but whether he's put in enough work to get that 50-minute run out of the car, not easy to do, to convert a 1-lap car into a 50-minute car.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's so tempting to set these cars up very aggressive for the 1 lap. I mean, these cars have plenty of mechanical grip with such wide tyres, and they've also got a lot of aero helping them to keep that car nice and straight and keep it planted through the corners. As we'll go on board for Casabo on this lap of Brands Hatch, so turn it up, let that McLaren roar, and we'll see you on the other side of this lap. That sound from that McLaren. Guys, I hope you turned it up as loud as I did, because that is a sensational sounding motor car.
Yeah, it's a sexy sounding car, this car. I absolutely love to drive it.
As we rode on board there, you would have noticed how much grip these things have. It's incredible how they can manhandle these cars around.
Yeah, Blake just ahead, he saw him a couple of times way off in the AstroTurf, and he was able to hold onto the car, but look how quickly, since they've now cleared that DP coming through, they've closed that gap right back up again.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we saw, just before we went on board with Kasaba, we did actually see him drop back a little bit just to let that DP through. So a lot of cooperation between the two different classes so far this race, which is what we need for such a tight little track with limited passing opportunities.
Yeah, it doesn't get any...
It's been a great race so far.
Yeah, for sure. because it doesn't get any easier. Next week off to Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Another tight, very, very hard to pass circuit. So it'll be another interesting race next week.
Yeah, I absolutely love that track, so it'll be good to see these cars flying around there as fast as I can.
Tough few weeks coming up for this series, actually. A lot of tough circuits that aren't the easiest to pass on as opposed to what we've seen earlier in this season, so it's going to definitely sort the men out from the boys the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's right. The skill that these guys have in these cars now, I mean, you'll be able to see them create passing opportunities that we probably won't think of in the V8s, because the amount of grip these things have, you can really throw them in and take an alternate line without slowing the car down too much. So they'll probably invent places to overtake and really push the limits of these cars. So I'm excited to see where they invent these moves around Mosport.
Hope to use them in the V8 one day yourself. Is that the plan? See where they make these moves so you can
Just
take advantage of it one day in the future.
That's right. I use these races as a bit of a experience, mate, in case I could take an advantage, because every little centimetre, mate, I'll take it.
Too bad they've already been to the tracks that we've already been to in the V8 they're coming up to, so you might not get much help. With Kernage having a lot of issues with lap traffic at the moment, or sorry, lower traffic or McLaren traffic.
Yeah, we've got
P3 in the McLaren, Gonzalez.
Yeah,
pretty good effort. First go.
Used to seeing him in the prototype. They're running a very, very bright livery on that McLaren. And doing a great job of it as well. Looks like that battle for first and second has not let up at all. We've got Christopher Osborne still applying a bit of a pressure. I mean, he's not right on Sandman's tailpipe, but that gap has remained at about 0.3 of a second now for a good 6 or 7 laps now.
It drifted out a couple of laps ago, but it's come back in again. Checked last lap around, it was out to nearly a second, but it's now back in, as you said, now coming up on traffic.
Yeah, Sandman losing a lot of time now. Osborne been able to close right up. I mean, these guys are the leaders in the McLarens versus the leaders of the DP, so hopefully these guys get through without holding too much of each other. Oh, Osborne on the grass. Very dangerous little spot. Saba giving plenty of room there. And Osborne taking all of the grass.
The Aberyl's closed up on these guys now too, so we're going to actually have a proper three-way battle for the lead.
This is going to be crazy, guys. It's shaping up to be an epic race so far. And it's something we've come to almost expect with the Thursday night Grand Am. Abraham right on Osborne's tailpipe. Yeah, look at that. Abraham with a 2-second advantage on that lap. Really been able to close up. So those McLarens really slowing those guys down, a bit of traffic. I mean, we've come to expect that, and as we've seen so far is anything can happen in these Grand Am races. So we're only 20 minutes in, but we've got a long time still to go, another 30 minutes of racing ahead. Got George Sandman coming up on the back of Griffiths. Griffiths pulls over to the right. Yeah, moves right out of the way. Oh, Osborne. Maybe unsided there, but yeah, gets very, very close to that McLaren.
Aberyl's right behind. He's looking to get this move done to get into P2.
Looking for that draft down that main straight. Very, very important that he stays tucked in there.
Needs to get as close as he can now, get some drive out of this corner here. Try and get a move up the inside at the hairpin. Won't be close enough though.
Oh, closes right up on the back. He says, "Hello Osborne, I'm here." We'll have that. Osborne will have that Lazy Man Racing DP all over his mirrors. Very hard to keep concentration when you've got someone ducking and diving all over the place in the background. So Abrol trying to make a nuisance of himself, and Osborne doing a great job and actually managed to pull out a bit of a gap down the straight there. So Abrol must be running a very, very low downforce and being able to pull away from Abrol in the main on that little short straight there.
You know who's loving this though? This is all looking good for George Sandman. He's managed to pull the gap now of about a second on Osborne. Oh, Christian Elwood almost into the back of Gonzalez there. They've had a little bit of a touch. Elwood in the ANZ Motorsports V8 Supercar Fan Group. McLaren. Blake Coppo in the lead of the McLaren class. He's been able to pull a little bit of a bigger gap back to P2 and 3.
Yeah, it looks like he pulled out nearly 0.6 of a second on that last lap, so Coppo showing some serious pace.
Car's obviously come back to him.
Yeah, or maybe he got stuck in a bit of traffic and was able to gap Saab a little bit. Got a bit of a question from one of our fans. Has Mitch Abrol won in this series so far? And I don't think he has, not this season anyway.
I will look into the database.
Just using my memory, I don't think he has.
I don't think so either.
But I could be proven wrong, and it's not the first time I've been proven wrong, I can tell you.
Or me.
Abraham all over the back of Osborne still. Coming through the traffic now. Geez, that's a bright McLaren, that one. Looks like Sandman's going to be held up a little bit from Foltz, Tim Foltz. Tim moves right out of the way and lets these three guys through. And the gap remains pretty static between the top three now. Looks like got a little battle going on for 5th and 6th now in the McLarens. We've got David Hingston reeling in Corey Osborne. Good to see these guys battling again.
Yeah, Hingston, a name you'll know quite well from the V8 series, he's decided to retire from the V8 for a couple of seasons, putting his love into the McLaren and starting to show off all the extra work that he's been putting into this car in the last couple of months.
That's right. Take a little bit of a break from the V8, but I mean, you can't stay away from the track, can you? Once you got motorsport in your blood, it's there for life. But David Hingston showing showing that practice does pay off and is managing to keep and actually catch Corey Osborne.
Now I have got an answer to the question. Mitch Abrol has won a race. He did win at Watkins Glen last season.
There you go. So really knows what it takes to win a race. So he's up against a couple of very, very, very quick drivers in Christopher Osborne and George Sandman. I still can't believe the pace they're travelling at. They're running at mid-19 still. This is an absolute great turn of speed. I mean, George Sandman's been able to pull about a second out on Osborne, but I mean, one McLaren in the way of Sandman, and that gap can disappear very, very quick.
They're over halfway through this race now, 22 minutes to go on the clock. Really good having the actual right time remaining on the race clock on screen now.
Just watching Anthony Kernich now in that bright green, prototype. Just sort of dropped off the pace a little bit last time, about a second slower than the front three guys. So for his debut in the top split, in the broadcast split, it's been an absolute show of speed. Really, he's really holding his own.
This isn't an easy track, so to be up the front in the top 4 in the quality of the field, that's quite a fantastic effort.
Yeah, exactly right. This is a very, very tricky track and quite technical. I mean, there's only 9 turns, but each is completely different, and they require a lot of compromise between the two different classes. Abrol having a huge look at Osborne, really make himself a nuisance there.
They're running up into traffic as well. Look at how quickly now the gap between Sandman and Osborne has closed because of that one car.
Yeah, that's right. Andrew Wren unfortunately was caught at the wrong spot, and I did get that right that time. I did check that it was Andrew Wren.
And now we're into a real 3-way battle for the lead again with 20 minutes to go.
Osborne now looking for a run on Sandman. Sandman taking the alternate line, Jay.
Oh, love it, love it.
I thought you might. Osborne getting a great drive out through there. He's going to put, he's put the move on.
Oh!
Nice contact between the two.
3 wide now. And Abrol's going to get the lead. No.
Oh, Abrol gains a position. Osborne loses one, and George Sandman holds the lead, but it looks like Abrol's going to get the inside here. He's going to hug the inside.
Oh!
Trying to put the power down. Geez, you can throw a blanket over these top 3.
And there's a McLaren now in the way.
Driving.
Dave Oliver's in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Jeez, I would not be surprised if Abrol actually touched the back of Sandman then. Oh, these cars are so fragile, so the slightest touch can cause catastrophic damage to these cars, and they are absolutely driving the wheels off these things. Geez, in the space of half a lap, I think we had 3 changes for the lead, but it looks like Abrol's got to run on Sandman. Oh, Sandman!
Oh, a bit of a touch, just made a touch!
And he's around, oh no!
Oh, and Oliver's now made contact with Sandman as well. Wow.
Oh, George Sandman, I bet he wishes he could go back in time, about 2 minutes. But unfortunate series of incidences there for George Sandman. Hopefully his car's not too damaged. Look at the replay now.
May have actually been a bit of a lag contact there, I think.
Yeah,
Abrol did give enough room, it's just internet not being perfect has caused that incident, so a bit unlucky there for Sandman to get spun around. Definitely was not intentional.
No, I could see definitely on my screen as well. It's what we call a net code. Basically just the computer game guessing where the next car's going to be, just with the internet speeds, but looks like Sandman's parked it and has DNF from this race, so not the ideal race for George Sandman, and it looks like he might be able to go back to bed and get some couple more hours sleep.
Sure, that's not what his intention was when he got up early to do this race. Unlucky for Sandman.
Yeah, unfortunate.
The Gonzalez and Elwood here on screen. This is 3rd and 4th in GT3 class.
We were actually chatting to Christian Elwood early this afternoon about the sensational work he's done with the overlays, and also his race setup, and it looks like he said he was going to be extremely good over the long run. Last time past he was about 0.2 of a second faster than Gonzalez.
Yeah, he said his aim, he hadn't done a lot of practice because he'd been doing a lot of work for us this week, so he was just hoping to have a good solid result this week.
Was that you, Jay, maybe cracking the whip a little bit on Christian?
No, it wasn't me. I can guarantee it wasn't me, but it was someone else in the room.
Shall remain nameless.
Yeah, good work, Hilly. Kingston and Osborne still battling at it. Out between these guys, not much, about half a second. been pretty consistent for the last couple of laps. Last lap around, virtually identical lap times. 2 laps in a row, almost identical lap times.
Just makes me wonder if Hingston's maybe just playing a little bit smart, hanging back a little bit, waiting for his moment to strike, because we've seen in the last few races that, you know, one big slide, or if you loop it around once, if you do take a bit of a spin or enjoy the scenery off too far in the grass, it can actually destroy your tyres and take a fair bit to calm them down and get the grip back. So maybe Hingston just playing a little bit smart, sit behind Corey, enjoying that draft, save a little bit of fuel and hopefully have the grip at the end of the race.
A couple of guys we haven't mentioned much tonight. Martin Turner now on the attack for Tony Autridge.
Saw Turner out last week actually putting in a really good performance, so backing up with another solid run at Brands Hatch.
There's 16 minutes to go now. Work out to about 9 or 10 laps, I believe.
This guy's, I'm just watching Martin Turner now, and he is driving extremely smooth.
He's not pushing the car too hard, is he? He's just letting the car drive itself and getting around the track nice and smooth and saving it for what looks like a run at the end.
Yeah, maybe saving it for the last 5 minutes. I mean, we can see Tony Autridge sort of push the limits a little bit, maybe put a little bit too much pressure on those front tyres, or... But yeah, Martin Turner really showing a very mature head on some shoulders there, that's for sure. Battling for 7th and 8th, these guys too. Looks like we had Mitch Abrol with a very slow lap last time round. He was, oh geez, nearly 2 seconds slower than Osborne and Kernich, who has been promoted to 3rd after Sandman disconnected.
And Alex Lamb in 4th position. He's the fastest driver on track at the moment. But Kernich is closing up on Abrol at 2 seconds a lap. It won't take long before we'll see a green car right on the back of this Lazy Man Racing DP.
Yeah, it looks like we've got maybe a bit of damage there to Abrol. I'm just watching him now, and he's really having to roll out of it and really almost tiptoed his car around the circuit.
Massive amount of damage to the front of that car,
Yeah.
so we're really struggling for front end grip, which you can clearly tell from his driving style too.
I mean, he's using all of the track, not probably because of choice either. I think he just has to do that to get the car around the circuit.
Last lap around though, Abrol responds again, gains half a second on Osborne, but Kernich is still closing up, gained 3/10 that lap around. I think Kernich will be on the back by the end of this race.
Yeah, as I said earlier in the broadcast, I mean, it's not the first time I'm going to be wrong, that's for sure.
Okay, I've been doing this for 18 months and I still can't get anything right, so don't worry, mate.
Oh, Abrol, very close to Martin
He's going to
Turner.
have to weave between these cars. And this is going to play into Kernich's hands.
And
There's a
actually,
guy-
Turner's going to really enjoy that because he's going to pull right back on the back of Autridge. Just
It's
visually,
really
that
played-
looks like they pulled up nearly half a second.
Yeah. They're almost nose to tail, and there's another McLaren in there as well. So the GT3s have really helped Kernich at this stage, but whether he can now get past them, another story.
Well, he looks like he's picked up Turner in the right spot. I mean, that's exactly where you want to clutch the McLarens, is on a nice straight run. So if he can clear Autridge nice and clean, maybe in this short shoot between...
He'll be right here on the brakes.
Yeah. Yep, Kernich would barely being held up at all there. And last
Time-wise, that
time
should be a
by-
gain, a net gain to Kernich there, you'd say.
Oh, absolutely. On the last, just as they crossed the last time round, Kernich was about 7/10 of a second faster than Abrol. Oh, Abraham had to take to the grass there to avoid a very slow Josh Flew.
That was pretty close there.
Oh, jeez, he just must have missed him by a whisker. Josh Flew obviously taking a bit of damage from an earlier spin, but Abraham taking to the grass to avoid that.
Oh, Abral's in the fence. Abral's around. That's the end of Abral's race.
Oh, he'll be absolutely gutted. Yeah, takes a bit of the curb on the exit, spins it, yeah, turns it about 4 or 5 times. That's huge damage. That will be the end of the race for Mitch Abraham. But Kernich moves up into P2.
Abral's continuing on, but there's so much damage to the front of that car. I don't know how he's driving it straight at all.
We look at the replay. You can see how he sort of skips up the circuit, grabs some of that ripple strip, and because these cars are so highly sprung, they're very susceptible to a very snap oversteer, I suppose you'd call it, and guides him directly to the fence there. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much though. He seems to be...
His pace actually isn't too bad.
Yeah. Very odd. I mean, these cars are very fragile. They're all downforce.
Go back to the GT3 class. Blake Coppo leading, but that gap is closing again. Don't believe what you're seeing on screen. It's not 540 seconds, that gap. Somewhere closer to 1.
1.4 as they crossed 1.4 as they crossed the line last time around.
Gonzalez in 3rd position and Elwood in 4th. But this battle for the GT3 class definitely not over.
No, we said that maybe Saab is playing it smart, maybe conserving a little bit, but Dude, Blake's going to be hard to catch with that pace he's got.
Now Elwood now right up behind Gonzalez to try and get this move done. This is for the final position on the podium.
Oh, pulls right up on the back there. Almost outbrakes himself a little bit there, Christian. Gets a good drive out of that corner and will enjoy the draft heading into turn 5, which is Hawthorns Bend. How good is this for you? Oh, Christian all over the track, trying to make a use of himself in Fabio's mirrors. Through the fast right-hand section now, coming down the hill. Oh, Christian on the
Christian.
round. Christian in the sand. Oh, huge mistake there from Christian Allwood. Got to watch where he rejoins.
Whoa! Who else is that off in the grass?
That's Corey Osborne. Osborne around as well.
The final spot on the podium, Gonzalez is going away now, and Hingston moves up into P4.
Well, Hingston enjoying a couple of spots there. So definitely pays to keep these cars nice and straight and pointing in the right direction. But
Mitch
Osborne...
Abrams been in the lane, he's serviced his car and back out on track. Sorry, Hilly.
You're right. No drama at all. Oof.
8 minutes to go now.
And Hingston, look at that, moves up into 4th place.
Corey Osborne dropped back to 7th position. He's got Tony Autridge just ahead, Martin Turner behind. And Venues, he's managed to find himself in 4th position in the DP class. And Turner very close.
Yeah, Venus we see is absolutely excellent on the brakes in these cars, but the nose there. Oh! Corey Osborne does not want to let Venus through, because if he does, there will be a gap between him and Tony Autridge. And Venus more than happy just to sit there for the moment. Yeah,
are you sure he's happy?
Well,
he doesn't
I
look
don't
too
think he
happy.
really has much of a choice, unfortunately. Trainers can't find a way around these McLarens.
Here we go now. He'll be fine. He'll get the
Yeah.
first one now and the second one on the next straight. Not what you want to see in multi-class racing though, guys battling and looking angry in their way they're driving.
Oof.
Aldridge almost, he's run off the track, and now here's Osborne's chance to bounce.
I just watched Osborne's little incident there at the back there, and it looks like he was a bit fixated on the spinning car in front of him and just followed him straight off into the dirt. A bit of a mistake there from Osborne, and he's really suffering now. But finds himself in a great battle now with Tony Aldridge. Tony will make this car extremely wide. Oh, jeez. And Martin Turner is just there to pick up the pieces if something goes bad.
He's ready to pounce on both these guys as soon as he can.
Looks like they've got another prototype coming up behind them in Bernard Mangelsdorf.
Of course, the same team as Osborne, so he'll probably be trying to do as much as he can to help Osborne out and getting a move done.
Oh, very loose. Oh, I did well to hang on to that one, that's for sure. Bernard up the inside of his teammate. Finding a way in between the exiting McLaren and Corey Osborne. Last time by, Christopher Osborne stopped the clock at 44 minutes, so only 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go now.
5 minutes to
Clock
go.
has just ticked under 5 minutes. Go back to the leader of the DP class. Chris Osborne, he's got an 8-second gap. Doing it nice and easy now.
Involved
Definitely.
in that massive battle they had through the middle section of that race.
More of the action
Koenig,
we've seen in this series. Sorry.
You're right. And yeah, Koenig we see up in the P2, so dream really for Koenig and his debut race in top split.
All you need to do is stay out of trouble.
That's right, as we've seen, I mean anything can happen in these races.
Alex Lamb up in P3. Probably would have taken that at the start of the race.
Oh, absolutely, wouldn't you just?
On the left of screen you can actually see the position gain for all the drivers in this race. So Osborne and Koenig gaining 1 position, Lamb gaining 2, Venus and Mangelsdorf gaining 3. Abril loser of 3 positions. Probably the biggest loser would be George Sandman. Started in first, he'll finish 9th.
Yeah, it takes a big hit in the championship, Sandman.
Of course, a few notable absentees this week from the Australia-New Zealand series. Missing Matthew Barron, John Emerson, Mitchell McLeod this week. Fingers crossed they'll all be back next week, but real life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, it starts to get a bit busy at this time of year. But yeah, it would be exciting to see these guys back for Mosport. I know Emerson does like the track, so he'll be looking forward to stepping back into that Riley prototype and hitting the track.
Blake Coppo leading the GT3 class. 2.5 minutes now to go in this race.
Looks like we've got a bit of an issue there with the time between first and second in class for the McLarens.
Yep,
It's
about
last
15
time by-
seconds.
Yeah, last time by, actually I got the timing at about 11. About 11 seconds.
Something's actually happened to Sabre on the last lap. Last lap around he did a 1:33.5.
Yeah, massive little incident there.
9-second loss. 2 minutes to go now. There'll be 2 laps remaining for Osborne. The white flag next time around. A few of those drivers will be very, very, very happy to see at the end of this race.
Oh, won't they just? This is such a difficult track to keep your concentration going for 50 minutes. And it's so physical as well. I mean, it's a very, very bumpy track with a lot of undulations in height. I mean, you're constantly arguing and fighting with the car to keep the thing straight. So they will be extremely excited to see that white flag next time blast.
So Gonzalez on screen, currently P3 in the GT3 class. Looks like Kingston's actually closed right up now to him. About a 2-second difference between those guys. It's definitely not over for the final spot on the podium in the GT3 class.
Yeah, last time by, Hingston was about 1.5 seconds faster. Looks like we've got reports of Tim Foltz upside down on the track somewhere.
They're just outside of turn 2. Not sure how you end up upside down there, but... So it will be the last lap now. The replay on screen. It's Autridge and Osborne, and they've come together, and Tim's just been an innocent bystander and been collected.
As we look at Osborne, who is doing his last half of the race, last half of the track now to complete his final circuit.
Definitely a race full of controversy, as always, as we've seen every week in this series. Mayhem and controversy, but that's what keeps us coming back every week in this series.
And great racing. As we see Christopher Osborne now. Oh, jeez, he gets awfully close to the back of his namesake, but it will be Christopher Osborne who takes the win in the Thursday Night Grand Am Series in a very, very close fought battle up for most of that race.
Anthony Kernich will be in second position in the DP class.
He will be ecstatic. And we've got Alex Lamb taking third place in the prototypes, but it looks like we've got...
Blake Coppo crosses the line for the win in the GT3 class as well.
Going a great speed, then Casaba in second, and Fabio Gonzalez across the line to finish third. Well, that's been an absolutely epic battle again. I mean, this series does not disappoint when it comes to entertainment, that is for sure.
Oh, this is a fantastic series, and I've thoroughly enjoyed being in the box tonight. I might have to come back and do this again, I think.
I think you'll have a fight with Corey when he starts to feel a bit better. I know he's not feeling well, mate. So hope you get better soon.
I think he's got man flu.
Ah, mate, that's deadly. That stuff. You got to stay away from that. But looks like we've got the results now up on screen.
Yes, I've got the results of the DP class. Chris Osborne takes the win from Anthony Kernich, Alex Lamb, Steve Vanus, Bernard Mangelsdorf, Paul Gallen, Mitch Abril, Tim Foltz and George Sandman.
As we head on to the 20-strong McLaren field, we had Blake Coppo taking a very, very close fought battle with Casaba to take the win. So Casaba in second place, a good race, very happy with that result. Fabio Gonzalez in third place, and he will be very, very happy with that result. I mean, his debut on the McLaren. David Hingston in fourth place. We got Christian Hollywood in fifth, Martin Turner in sixth, Corey Osborne in seventh, Leighton Fine in eighth place, Tony Autridge in ninth. In 10th, we've got Dave Oliver. Rounding out the field, we have Andrew Wren, Gatsupi Singh, Tanzi, Claudio Klima, Steve Griffiths, Guy Burkhart, Josh Flew, Nathan Eremenko, Dorino Raschuti, David Arnold, Patrick Gordsky.
If I come back, I'm taking the easy class.
That's all right. I'll trust me after, guys. If I do actually butcher your names, please contact us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/V8online, and just phonetically spell that for us so we can get your name pronounced correctly on the broadcast.
Right, I get Matthew Hiley's name wrong too. Well, that wraps it up again tonight. Fantastic race tonight. I absolutely enjoyed it. Thanks for having me along, Hilly.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and looking forward to the next race at Mosport in 1 week's time.
Yeah, so next Thursday night, the next Grand Am broadcast will be from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And of course, our next broadcast will be Monday night from 7:30 for the iRacing.com V8 Supercar Series. This has been V8 Online's live coverage of the Australian-New Zealand Grand Am Series presented by Track Racer, Thrustmaster and the V8 Online Superstore.